New details on Operation Last Stand, a months-long investigation that led to at least 80 arrests near Somerville yesterday.
You think nightclubs are just about music and dancing? Think again. ICE agents just stormed a Charleston nightclub and captured over 70 criminals who were using the venue as headquarters for drug trafficking, money laundering, and human exploitation. This wasn't a party. It was a criminal command center where a murder fugitive from Honduras thought he could hide among the crowd while directing illegal operations across multiple states.
After an underground nightclub raid in Colorado Springs, our Denver 7 Investigates team was at the scene early.
Before we reveal how this criminal nightclub empire operated, your subscribe click powers the investigation work behind this and every future video. Federal investigators didn't stumble onto this operation. They systematically tracked it. For months, law enforcement had been gathering intelligence on the Alamo, an underground nightclub about 25 miles outside of Charleston in Somerville, South Carolina. What started as simple noise complaints back in November quickly escalated as investigators uncovered disturbing patterns. The evidence was overwhelming. Surveillance footage captured suspicious activities happening within the nightclub's walls. What appeared to be a simple entertainment venue was strategically positioned near Highway 78, making it an ideal distribution point for illegal operations spanning multiple states. This wasn't a solo investigation. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, the Charleston County Sheriff's Office, and other agencies coordinated their efforts.
More than 300 law enforcement officers from both local and federal agencies, including the DEA, FBI, Homeland Security, were involved in the operation,
sharing intelligence and resources to build an airtight case. What appeared to be customer service was actually criminal coordination.
Side was significant drug trafficking, prostitution, crimes of violence.
Undercover agents infiltrated the nightclub, blending with the crowd, while documenting the illegal activities happening in plain sight. The agents witnessed drugs changing hands, money being laundered through seemingly legitimate transactions, and suspected victims of human trafficking working under duress.
The DEA's Rocky Mountain Division posting these images showing the aftermath of the chaotic raid. Stools toppled over, a passport, pills, and even car keys left behind. Authorities tell ABC News they found user quantities of cocaine inside the club, as well as evidence of possible prostitution.
CCTV footage revealed what casual patrons couldn't see: the suspicious meetings in back rooms, the hidden compartments where drugs and weapons were concealed, and the elaborate security measures designed to protect the criminal enterprise rather than the customers. This nightclub wasn't just hiding crime, it was the headquarters. At the center of this operation was Benjamin Reyna Flores, a 59-year-old suspected member of Los Zetas cartel, now known as Cartel del Noreste, or CDN. This isn't just any criminal organization. In February 2025, the Trump administration formally designated CDN as a terrorist organization, elevating the threat level and the urgency to dismantle their operations within American borders.
We had over a dozen active duty service members in the club tonight, either as patrons or working as armed security.
The financial records recovered from the venue revealed a sophisticated money laundering operation. Cash from illegal activities was being processed through the nightclub, making dirty money appear legitimate. Communication devices seized during the raid exposed the nightclub's connections to criminal networks across multiple states. Criminal enterprises exploit American businesses to conduct the most serious crimes imaginable. On the surface, the Alamo appeared to be a legitimate business. It had all the trappings of a regular nightclub: music, dancing, drinks. But this facade masked a sinister reality. The business licenses and permits were nothing but a sophisticated cover. The legitimate front allowed the cartel to operate with minimal suspicion. Patrons enjoying a night out were unknowingly surrounded by serious criminal activity. Cash transactions from the bar and entrance fees weren't just business revenue. They were a perfect mechanism for laundering illicit profits from drug sales and human trafficking. From Charleston to Honduras, a criminal pipeline disguised as nightlife. The geographic reach of this operation was staggering. Evidence seized during the raid revealed connections to criminal networks not just in South Carolina, but across multiple states. Communication records showed direct links to cartel operations in Mexico and Central America.
A months-long investigation that led to at least 80 arrests.
One of the most significant arrests was Sergio Joel Galo Baca, a Honduran national with an active Interpol red notice for homicide in his home country. He wasn't hiding in the shadows. He was operating in plain sight, using the chaotic nightclub environment as cover while coordinating criminal activities. Travel documents, fake identification cards, and communication logs painted a disturbing picture of a criminal enterprise with international reach. The nightclub served as a hub for coordinating illegal border crossings, drug shipments, and money transfers across national borders. The murder fugitive wasn't hiding. He was commanding. Inside the club's back office, agents discovered a sophisticated command center. Communication equipment, ledgers, and organizational documents revealed that Galo Baca wasn't simply laying low. He was actively directing criminal operations. The hierarchy documents recovered showed a clear chain of command within the organization. Detailed schedules for drug distribution, money transfer records, and coded communications revealed the scope and sophistication of the criminal network. This wasn't a disorganized gang. It was a professional criminal enterprise with international connections. Among those arrested were two individuals described by Charleston County Sheriff Carl Ritchie as high-level cartel members with ties to both Los Zetas and the Venezuelan Tren de Aragua cartel, expanding the international connections of this criminal network even further. Charleston residents thought they were near entertainment. They were next to a criminal command center. The community impact of this criminal enterprise was profound. Local businesses and families lived and worked in the shadow of this operation without realizing the danger it posed. Crime statistics in the area showed disturbing trends. Drug-related offenses had increased in neighborhoods surrounding the nightclub. Local schools reported concerns about drug availability to students. The criminal activity wasn't contained within the club's walls. It was seeping into the fabric of the community. Previous iterations of this same operation had caused similar problems. Before relocating to Somerville, a version of the Alamo had operated in Hanahan until it was shut down in 2016 following nearly 50 reports of public urination, drug offenses, DUI arrests, and assaults. This wasn't an isolated incident. It was a pattern of criminal exploitation. Entertainment venues became exploitation centers. Perhaps most disturbing were the human victims of this operation. The raid rescued 7 potential victims of human trafficking and a missing juvenile. Teens as young as 13 years old were found inside the club, being served alcohol and exposed to dangerous criminal elements. Fake identification mills discovered during the raid produced fraudulent documents that facilitated human trafficking operations. Debt bondage records revealed how vulnerable individuals were trapped in cycles of exploitation, forced to work off impossible debts to their traffickers. These weren't just immigration violations, they were crimes against human dignity. Each victim represented a person whose life and freedom had been compromised by this criminal network. Federal investigators just proved that criminal enterprises will be hunted down wherever they hide. The operation, dubbed Operation Last Stand, began at approximately 3 a.m. on Sunday, June 1, 2025. Over 200 law enforcement officers from federal, state, and local agencies descended on the Alamo nightclub. When they entered, witnesses described a scene of confusion and chaos. David Herrera, who was present during the raid, told local media, "I saw dancing, I saw people smiling, having a good time, and then boom, it all went to chaos." Agents and deputies shouted commands in both English and Spanish as they secured the premises and began identifying suspects. Law enforcement arrived with 116 arrest warrants, both criminal and immigration related. The operation was the culmination of months of strategic planning and coordination between multiple agencies. The timing was carefully chosen to maximize the number of suspects present while minimizing risk to the public. Over 70 criminals captured, 1 murder fugitive extradited, criminal empire dismantled. When the operation concluded, 72 illegal aliens had been arrested, including individuals with serious prior criminal convictions. In total, 80 arrests were made, including both citizens and non-citizens connected to the criminal enterprise. The evidence seized was substantial. Firearms, narcotics, and bulk cash were cataloged and processed. 6 children were recovered and placed in the care of state social services. The operation successfully dismantled a significant node in the cartel's network. Reina Flores now faces both state and federal charges, including alcohol-related offenses documented in Charleston County jail records. He is being held under an ICE detainer, while additional charges are considered. This coordinated federal response just sent a clear message that criminal enterprises will be hunted down wherever they hide. Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin made the administration's position clear. Under President Trump and Secretary Noem, fugitives and lawbreakers are on notice. Leave now, or ICE will find you and deport you. The success of Operation Last Stand demonstrates the effectiveness of coordinated law enforcement action against transnational criminal organizations. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster praised the operation, highlighting the arrest of Tren de Aragua gang members as a significant victory for public safety. The venue that once pulsed with music and criminal activity has been permanently closed by county authorities. What began as a series of noise complaints led to the dismantling of a sophisticated criminal enterprise and the rescue of multiple victims of exploitation. The nightclub building now stands empty, a reminder that American law enforcement agencies are committed to identifying, targeting, and dismantling criminal organizations regardless of how they try to disguise their activities. Stay until the end to see the shocking evidence of how this fake nightclub was exploiting American businesses for criminal profit. The most damning documents recovered reveal the full scope of the criminal enterprise. Detailed financial records showing how legitimate business transactions were used to mask illegal profits. Communication records documenting the international scope of the operation, and organizational charts revealing the structure of the criminal network. This wasn't just a nightclub raid. It was the dismantling of a terrorist-affiliated criminal enterprise operating in plain sight in an American community. The businesses, families, and law-abiding citizens of the Charleston area can rest easier knowing this threat has been neutralized and that law enforcement remains vigilant against similar operations. Remember to subscribe for more investigations that expose and dismantle criminal enterprises threatening American communities.